You're listening to the Platform Launchers podcast. I'm John Stange, and it's great to be with you as always. I always look forward to it because here we talk about building and growing and monetizing your online platform. And if you're listening to this podcast or if you're watching us via YouTube, I'm certain that you've got a lot of stuff going on. You've got a lot of stuff cooking, at least in your brain, and hopefully you're putting some content out on the internet for other people to benefit from. Our topic this week is going to be the power of a $49 offer. And we're going to talk about different ideas that you might be able to incorporate to utilize a $49 offer on your website. And I'm pretty excited to get into that. And I have some things I'm going to suggest to you, things related to just practical action, but also some psychology that we're going to talk about in just a minute. But before we do, I just want to make mention of the fact that our members club, they are live on these calls with me when I record this podcast, when I record these YouTube videos. And I want to highlight one of our members. In fact, the group kind of pressured her to do this here with some healthy peer pressure because she's been somebody that's just been doing some fantastic things. And I want to introduce to you someone that maybe you're familiar with the name if you've been listening to the show for a while. Jody Skinner, say hi to everybody if you wouldn't mind.
Hi, everybody. Thanks, John.
You're welcome. And Jody, you have a little something going on, kind of a Christmas in July special that you're running with some of your books. Please tell us about it.
I do. I run the small publishing company called Smidgen Press, where we reprint classic books, both beautiful shelf editions and ebooks that won't have a bunch of weird coding in them, and they're actually pretty to read. So we have a Christmas in July sale happening right now with 15% off the entire site. And we also have a 3-book Christmas bundle of 3 really pretty books that are they're all 3 Christmas themed, and we have them in hardcover, paperback, and ebook. And
give us the titles. I'd love to hear the titles really quickly.
All right, so we have our oldest one is The Story of the Otherwise Man by Henry Van Dyke, and it's got J.R. Flanagan's artwork in there. We have the L.M. Montgomery Christmas Collection, which is Lucy Maud Montgomery was the author of the Anne of Green Gables books. And then we have the Christmas Story, which is an interesting collection. It's primarily the scriptures that are rearranged from the prophecies through the birth and the coming of the Messiah, and then on into Revelation and the promise. But the illustrator, there are, I want to say 8 or 10 of these just beautiful woodcut editions. A webcam just can't do them justice, but they're really beautiful. So
love it. And you're running a special on those right now, Christmas in July special, where if people are listening or if they're watching us via YouTube, where should they go in order to get that?
That's on smidgenpress.com. That's SMIDGEN. Smidgenpress.com.
Smidgenpress.com. I thought it was fun when you just said, I have a small publishing company called Smidgen Press. I guess it's aptly named.
That's true. And actually, I keep forgetting to mention, but we have kind of our trademark book is a smaller edition of almost all of our books. And they're just the cutest little gift editions, and they're adorable. And I love them.
I love that.
I just forget to talk about them.
They are super sharp and super well designed. So thanks for sharing those with us. Smidgenpress.com. Take advantage of the Christmas in July special that Jody and her company are running right now. Thanks for sharing that, Jody.
Yep. The discount code is at the site header, and all the information's there.
Love it. Awesome.
Thanks, John.
Very, very good. Oh, you're welcome. Now, I mentioned that this week we are talking about the power of a $49 offer. So let me give you a little background on this thought here. And I think you're going to find this topic kind of, it might generate a few ideas for you. It might have a few insights for you. Certainly practical, related to whatever level of platform development you're at. But from time to time, I interact with those who are relatively new at the process of developing their online platforms. And in that season of beginnings, I often hear people express a common frustration, and the frustration that they often express is a frustration of not earning an income yet from the content that they're creating. And if you've been creating online content, I could certainly understand that. If you feel like you're not earning an income yet from it, we want you to start earning an income. And that's why we talk about these sorts of things. But when that frustration is expressed, I typically respond with the question, what do you have for sale and how much are you charging? It doesn't sound like a complicated question, but it's something that I typically ask when people express the frustration of not earning an income. I want to know, what do you have for sale and how much are you charging? And at that point, I often discover one of two things. I often discover that either they don't have anything for sale, or they've priced their offers far beyond the level of online authority that they've actually earned. And it's kind of ironic how often you discover that they actually have nothing for sale. So how could you earn an income from what you're doing online if you don't actually have something for sale, right? But then again, like I said, sometimes it's not that. Sometimes it's just because they've priced their offers, whatever they're offering, far beyond the level of online authority that they've earned. I'll give you an example of that one. Several years ago, I was actually in a meeting with several online entrepreneurs, and we were just discussing the various price points, various prices that we charged for things like courses and coaching packages. And most of the prices that were being charged were very affordable and earned the people that were on the call a healthy income. And, it's certainly nice to hear. But there was one person in that meeting, it was an online meeting, and there was one person in that meeting who seemed kind of critical of the low prices that several of us were charging. And that seemed strange to us. We thought, we're trying to provide valuable things at affordable prices for the audience that we're serving. But he then went on to tell us about his $2,000 coaching package, and he made everything about it sound so wonderful. Now, I am not opposed to a $2,000 coaching package, but I also think that lower priced offers are also valuable. But here's an interesting development. Later in that meeting, when he was pressed to share how much he actually earned from that high priced package during the course of a typical month, maybe you'll be surprised by his answer, or maybe you won't be, but he actually answered truthfully and he told us, well, zero. I actually earned nothing from it. So imagine that. We were criticized or critiqued for offering low price things that actually contributed to us earning a regular source of income, but he had a high priced item that he wasn't earning anything from. Nobody purchased it. Those who were selling things at reasonable prices were earning an income. He was earning nothing, but he had something at a high price. Now, I don't know if you have any offers for coaching or courses or some other product that's available on your website, but if you do, I wonder, are any of them priced around the $49 mark? Now, this individual, he had one offer and it was for $2,000. And I thought that that was too much for the kind of authority that he had online. But if you have any products or any courses or coaching or something else available on your website yet, do you have any of them priced around the $49 mark? Why do I ask that? Why am I asking that? Why is that our theme this week for the podcast, for the YouTube channel? Well, $49 offers tend to be very successful. It tends to be a price point that works really well. And I think that the success of $49 offers can actually be attributed to several psychological and economic factors. I think that there's a few things that go into this. I'm going to share 6 things. They're all very related. You're going to hear like definite similarities with these 6 things, but I'm going to point out some subtleties on with each of these as I share them. But here are 6 reasons why these $49 offers tend to be successful. It's not a guarantee that they're going to be successful, but they do tend to be successful. It does tend to be a price point that works really well. And the first reason is price perception. So just think about that term for a second, price perception. When you're pricing just below a round number, so in this case, just below the round number of 50, so we're saying $49, right beneath that round number of 50, it actually makes the price appear significantly lower. It's a price perception issue. So customers often perceive $49 as much cheaper than $50, even though the difference is only $1. So there's a price perception issue there. So keep that in the back of your mind. That's one reason why $49 offers tend to work well. I have a few similar thoughts as well. Let me continue on my list here. Number 2 on the list is this: psychological pricing. Psychological pricing. Don't know if you've ever heard the term, but basically, this is a common strategy that's used in retail. They also call it charm pricing. Maybe you've heard that term, but prices ending in 99 cents or 95 cents, as is commonly utilized, they tend to be more appealing to consumers, and people automatically associate those numbers with discounts and with bargains. So there's psychological pricing, right? We have price perception, we have psychological pricing. Again, similar concepts, just subtly different. Here's a third thing, a third reason why $49 offers tend to work rather well, and that's value for money. Value for money. $49 is often seen as a sweet spot where the product is perceived as affordable while still being something that has substantial value. It's looked at as being an affordable thing, but people say this actually has value. It's not too cheap to seem low quality, but it's also not too expensive to deter potential buyers from actually giving it a shot. So there's that value for money aspect of the $49 offer that's worth considering. But here's another thing, also related, but it's number 4 on my list, and that's budget considerations. For many consumers, $50 can be a psychological budget threshold. Some people just look at that as like you're jumping to a new level. So for many consumers, that $50 mark, it's a psychological budget threshold for whatever reason. But when you're pricing an item at $49, that can actually make it seem like it fits better within a budget. Again, even though it's just $1 different, it tends to fit with people's perceptions of their budget. So there's budget considerations. But how about this? Number 5, marketing tactics. $49 offers are frequently used in marketing promotions to create a sense of urgency and to attract buyers who are looking for a deal. And this price point, I think, can be especially effective during sales events or special promotions. I actually have a story about that in just a moment, but I'll save that for after I tell you number 6. And number 6 is another mental, psychological thing, but we'll just call number 6 consumer psychology. And the way this one works is this: people are often more motivated by avoiding losses than achieving gains. I don't know if you already knew that about human psychology, but people again are often more motivated by avoiding losses than achieving gains. And so a $49 price point can make the potential savings compared to a higher price actually feel more significant. So the 6 reasons here why $49 offers are worth considering, and then I'm going to share a couple stories with you. First of all, price perception. Second, psychological pricing, value for money, budget considerations, marketing tactics, and consumer psychology. But overall, when you take all of these into consideration, and again, they have some overlap and some similarity, even though they're subtly different from one another. These factors combined actually make $49 offers rather compelling to many consumers. And they tend to lead to higher sales. There are a lot of people that I've talked to that say that in many respects, this tends to be a sweet spot when it comes to pricing things. So let me share 2 anecdotal examples from my own life that I think will help illustrate these points even further. So if you go to my website, if you go to platformlaunchers.com, you'll notice there that I have a university page. And on the university page, that's where I sell various courses. I have courses that I have personally created. I'm also an affiliate for some courses that I recommend. So I have some options on the website for other people's courses. But one of my most popular courses is a course called Earn $250 a Day from Your Online Platform. It's one of the most popular courses I've ever created, and I have that available at on the university page at platformlaunchers.com. It's a course that I recorded a little over a year ago. And the goal that I had in putting that together is I just wanted others to learn exactly what I'm doing to consistently earn that kind of revenue online. And a lot of people have expressed to me a desire to learn, what system I use. And so I put it together in a course and I have it available on the university page. I typically sell that course for $297. And I consider that a bargain. Honestly, if I sold that course for $10,000, I would consider it a bargain. Because for some people, when they take that course and then they put it into action over time, it ends up replacing their income. So again, $297, I've spent much more than that on many, many things over the course of my life. But that's typically what I price that course at. But I recently sent those who are on my email list a coupon code. And the coupon code was worth $250. And I said that that could be applied to that course, specifically to that course, the Earn $250 a day course. Sent them a $250 coupon that could be applied to that course as long as they used it within the next 48 hours. So if you do the math in your head, I typically sell that course for $297. I sent a $250 coupon that reduced the price to $47. And I just wanted to see if, first of all, I knew that if people utilized it, it would help them. But I wanted to see if I reduced the price a little bit, if that would be something that would result in more people purchasing the course. So again, I reduced it to $47 just for 2 days. And I have to tell you, I was super pleased with the results that I got. It resulted in a healthy amount of course sales over the course of a couple days. And I was very excited with that experiment. Loved seeing what happened. But I have to tell you, I was even more excited when just a few days, less than a week after I did that, I started to get feedback from people who were taking the course. One of the guys that took the course actually said that he listened to the course. I can't remember how long the drive was. I think it was like a 15-hour drive. And so he decided to listen to several things. He had an audiobook of mine that he was going to listen to and that course. And he listened to them both, I guess, over the course of his drive. And he said it was extremely helpful. So I was very pleased with the feedback I started getting from people. And I'll even say this, by the way, if you're listening to the podcast right now, or if you're watching this on YouTube, send me an email, john@platformlaunchers.com. If you want that course and you want me to send you a $250 coupon, if you reference the fact that you heard that I referenced this on the podcast and send that to me, I'll email you. I'll just email you directly a coupon that will take $250 off the price of that course. But I was very pleased with the experiment. And I recognized that it was that price point of $47 made it much easier for people to access it. So send me an email, john@platformlaunchers.com. If you want a code to reduce the price, I'll send it to you. Just reference the fact that you heard it on this podcast, in this episode. But let me give you another example. So that was an example from my own life. I watched a lot of people utilize that offer. It made me feel good, made others feel good, and I've loved the feedback that I've been getting. But some friends of mine did something similar very recently. You may recognize the names John Sanders and Les Hughes. These are the two men behind the online platform Entre Pastors. And it's an online platform that's dedicated to just helping various pastors who are also entrepreneurs. We've had them on as guest experts here on Platform Launchers, and they had a similar experience. So John and Les, they actually had the idea to create a course for pastors that featured some of the advice that Dan Miller shared over the years via his podcast. It's advice that was aimed to help pastors find clarity on how best to balance the needs of their ministries with the needs of their families. It was a really good idea for a mini course, and they decided, because Dan Miller's company, his online platform was called 48 Days, they decided to price the course at $48. So again, very close to that $49 price point, and it's been doing rather well. I wanted to follow up with them at this point, but if I had to guess, and they can confirm or deny whether I'm right or wrong on this, but based on what I'm seeing, I wouldn't be surprised if it's been one of their best-selling courses to date since they started their online platform. And I'll tell you what, the day they released that course, I bought a copy of it without hesitation that day, the very day that they released it. $48. I didn't have to think twice about buying it. I thought, absolutely, I'm going to buy it. And I think anecdotally, they could testify to the fact that it's been one of their best-selling courses thus far, and they've done a great job promoting it. So those examples out of the way, let me just ask this now related to you and what you're doing. What about you? What kind of offer could you create that could be priced in the $49 range? Is there something that you can think of that could be just priced in that range? Maybe a mini course that you could record and then offer at that price? Or would you accept $49 for an initial coaching or consultation fee? Yvette, one of our members here, was saying that she's doing something like that related to a coaching service where she's going to offer a $49 offer for an initial coaching or consultation fee. I think that's a great idea. Or maybe you have a product or a guide or an ebook or something like that, maybe even several things that you could package together and then digitally deliver these things and sell them for $49. Would any of these be options for you? If any of these make sense, or maybe even something completely different, if these are options that you could come up with, I would strongly encourage you to give this a try and put out a $49 offer that people could utilize to actually access some of the content that you've been putting together that tends to be a great way to actually serve your audience. And because I like to practice what I preach, I actually thought it might be of interest to you to know that I have something on the immediate horizon that you've heard me allude to in the past, but it's about to come out now. I'm currently in the process right now, as I speak. I'm currently in the process of recording a course called How to Build a Positive and Profitable Online Membership Community. And it's going to be released very, very soon. It should be out by the end of this month. And the price for that course is going to be $49. But if you use the coupon code SAVE25, so I'm putting a coupon code with this. So this is kind of like the second coupon code I've referenced in this podcast today. But if you use the coupon code SAVE25 today, you'd actually pre-purchase the course for $24. And then you could access it later this month when the episodes start to come live. The lessons will go live later this month. But if you go to the university page at platformlaunchers.com, you could access the course pre-sale there. But I'm practicing what I preach. So the regular price on that's going to be $49. Like I said, if you use the coupon code SAVE25, you can save $25 off that regular price. But even the regular price for that isn't going to be all that expensive. So all that being said, I hope this gave you some ideas on, maybe an offer that you might be able to put together that could be sold for $49. It could be something that really benefits the audience that you serve, but it could also benefit you because that price point, while it's highly affordable for those that would utilize your content, it still offers you as a creator a solid benefit for the time and the effort that you're dedicating toward making valuable products that serve your audience. So think about that. A $49 offer. I utilize them. Others utilize them. Think maybe it's time for you to utilize them. We actually have a goal inside our members club here in Platform Launchers where our goal for the month of July is to actually create a $49 offer that can go up on our individual websites. And so we have various members of our group that are working on their offers right now. I hope you'll consider creating an offer as well. I think it could be really, really practical. But that is it for us this week. Thanks again for tuning in. We always have a fun time getting together here on the podcast each week. We look forward to catching up with you again right here next time. In the meantime, be thinking about your $49 offer. And don't forget to stop by platformlaunchers.com. Check out the university page. Use the code SAVE25 to participate in the pre-sale for my online membership community course that's coming out at the end of this month. And if you join the pre-sale, you can get it really, really cheap. Happy to share that with you. That's it for me this week. Talk to you soon. Have a great one.